welcome to Doors and Corners, a sci-fi and fantasy film commentary podcast. I'm Brian.
And I'm Zach, and every Friday we sit down and watch a science fiction or fantasy film and give our 2 cents on its quality, production, story, and trivia.
We watch the film together, but without sounds or visuals provided to avoid copyright issues. But if you do have access, we encourage you to join us and follow along.
Here, we like to keep things casual, and there may be discussions of spoilers or sensitive materials or language. But we do try and keep things clean and family-friendly. Ultimately, the goal of this podcast is to create the experience of us all sitting down and watching this movie together.
So get ready to hit that play button, because we're about to get started.
Damn Doors and Corners, that's where they get you.
Welcome back to Doors and Corners. I'm Brian.
I'm Zach.
And we are wrapping up Phase 2 tonight of the MCU with, you go to like Age of Ultron, an Avengers film, just this massive film, to what in the MCU might be the polar opposite of Avengers film, but a movie that I really, really enjoy, Antman.
Yeah. I think that this movie, it has a quality that the other MCU had kind of been falling away from. It's such a smaller story. It's so much more just about a guy instead of a god, you know? And I just think it's excellent. And it does so many fun things with stuff from the comics that they had cut out of the previous MCU entries.
Yeah, I feel like this also managed to be genuinely funny without, but also feeling a little bit fresh in its type of humor. I think that Paul Rudd brings, he's a famous actor for his comedies. He brought a real tone to his comedy that was great. Michael Pena, man. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad they didn't overuse that because it works so well. And he's such a great, a dramatic actor, but he was great. Yeah. There's, quite the behind the scenes. I figure we'll probably talk about that. You know more about it than I do, but it's funny enough. My biggest problem with this film is the problem we were talking about all through Phase 2, which is I just find the villain ultimately forgettable. You could just...
You see...
I have criticisms there. We can disagree on it, which I sense we might, but
No, it's just... I actually thought that this was one of the better villains of Marvel as a whole. The character's fairly thin, don't get me wrong. But I like that they give him a little bit of time to, he gets so much more time than Ronan or Malekith.
Yeah.
And the actor, Corey Stoll.
He had done a show or something before this, right? What did he do that was big?
The Strain.
The Strain.
The Strain is something you and I have never talked about, okay? The Strain is a book series that I read that was, it
sounds like a Crichton thing.
No, okay. That's what attracted me to it at first, because I didn't even know who this person was at that time, because they compared it to Michael Crichton meets Stephen King. Okay. And it was co-written. I'm trying to find the other person right now, so I'm just going to Google this really fast. So the Strain series was written by a guy by the name of Chuck Hogan and a guy by the name of Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The Strain is based on an idea that Guillermo del Toro had for the 3rd movie in the Blade series that they wouldn't give him enough money to make, so he dropped out of doing Blade 3.
So they did Trinity instead?
And he built,
what a tragedy.
He built he didn't do Trinity.
Well, that's, no, what I'm saying is that they made Trinity instead of sticking with him and his idea, which is sad, because Trinity is a train wreck.
The books, it's a trilogy of books, self-contained, of the Strain, are about vampires. But vampires as a biological threat instead of a mystical threat, while also having, as Guillermo del Toro put it, Old Testament origins. But at the same time, they're viral.
Did the poster for this thing, was it like a tongue or something?
Yes. It's a vampire with his mouth open, and he's got this big creepy tongue sticking out.
I remember the poster for this thing being like, that doesn't look like something I would enjoy, because I'm a total wuss when it comes to that stuff.
It is one of those things where I didn't finish the TV show. It just didn't hook me. I always meant to go back to it. Um, do you remember the old man Lord Frey from Game of Thrones?
Oh
He
yeah,
was also the janitor in the Harry Potter movies.
yeah.
He plays this old man. This
He is old.
Holocaust survivor and vampire hunter. But the thing is, I got really sad because the initial casting for that character was actually John Hurt. And they filmed an entire pilot with John Hurt, and they weren't able to use it. And it made me so sad. Because John Hurt would be so perfect. The books were really good. They had their issues, really interesting ending, but the show didn't go to the same place. And I should probably stop talking about this.
Okay. Well, anyways, because I just rewatched this just a few days ago, and I just found myself. I mean, I don't want to go all the way into this now because we'll be watching it a little bit here, but I found it very. His acting was fine, but I found it just very generic in a I'm just angry at the guy who didn't give me a chance, and so even though I would absolutely make trillions of dollars selling this to the US government, I'm going to sell it to Hydra because F you. I was like, all right, that's it.
I liked
That's
him
what you
as
got?
a very I liked him as a very personal villain. Because so many of the villains were impersonal, like Ronan and Malekith. Ultron was definitely the highlight. But like even Winter Soldier, right? There wasn't a huge personal relationship between Alexander Pierce and Captain America, right? That was mainly between Pierce and Nick Fury.
Nick Fury, yeah.
There was a personal connection between the bad guy in Iron Man 3, whose name I suddenly forget.
Guy Pearce? I forget the name of the
Guy Pearce's
dude.
character. Adrian something?
Sure.
But,
yeah, that sounds right.
but it's just like there was a connection there, but they weren't face to face a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas Darren Cross in this thing, he gets a lot of time with Evangeline Lilly. He gets a little bit of time with Scott. He gets a lot of time with Hank.
Yeah.
They sprinkle him through this movie so much that he felt like a bigger presence to me. And I love the psychotic acting of Corey Stoll.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even going to try to I'm not trying to say that he's in the same league of flat villain as Guardians and of Dark World, but
he's upper middle.
Yeah, but it was just when I think of this movie, when I think of the reasons why I like this movie, he's nowhere in my mind. You know, it is all about it is the humor, it is the they're so creative with the sequences, the action sequences. I think that you think of Michael Pena's little his when he's telling his stories. You think of the sequence where he breaks in. I think Michael Douglas is fantastic in this movie. I have a soft spot for Michael Douglas. He has like the worst
line in the movie, and he's able to deliver it with a straight face.
He's a good actor.
All more power to him.
Yeah, and I just it was a nice, refreshing change. I remember going to see this in theaters after Age of Ultron, and this was like
palate cleanser, an aperitif.
I was just yes, I was just about to say this is like that really refreshing sherbet you get at like the Mexican restaurant after the really good but heavy meal, and this is like that nice that's really good, just light and nice and tasty, and then not too much,
Yep.
But why don't you give us the quick? I mean, do you want to talk about Edgar Wright before or as we're watching it?
I would want to talk about it a little bit.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and give us
really?
Yeah, go ahead and give us the kind of the brief history of the making of this film.
The brief history of the making of this movie. It's hard to make it brief. It goes back to This
was in development at the same time as Iron Man 1, right?
Further, late 90s. Marvel was selling off its properties in order to make some money because they were dead broke in the 90s. That's why they sold all these different properties to all these different studios. That's how Sony ended up with some, and Fox ended up with some others, and yada yada yada. Got all mixed up and mixed around. But Edgar Wright was really interested in making one of these movies because Marvel pretty much went to him and was like, "Are you interested in any of these properties?" He's like, "Ant-Man sounds fun." Writes a treatment, gets rejected by the studio, puts it aside, makes a couple of other things. Okay. Um, they bring the idea back up when they're doing Iron Man, and he's like, "Heck yeah, I'm going to get on that."
Because
So
at this point, he had done Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz, right? He had started to kind of make a name for himself.
that's correct.
Yeah.
The Coronetto trilogy, as they call it.
I don't think
However,
At World's End had happened yet, though, right? I don't think he had made the third one yet.
no. In fact, that actually plays into the story.
Okay, go
So
for it.
Edgar Wright, they announced that he's directing this movie back in like 2009. Okay, it was supposed to be part of Phase 1, and both the characters of Janet Van Dyne, who we don't see until the second movie, and Hank Pym were going to be major players in the first iteration of the Avengers. And first, it kept getting delayed. They decided to push it into Phase 2, and they kept trying to push in. The studio wanted Edgar Wright to incorporate more connections to the other movies. They wanted to make it this shared universe thing. And he was just having so much trouble with it. And they're like, "We want the movie made now." But he's like, "My friend is literally dying. I need to finish the trilogy that I promised we would make, ending with The World's End, the Coronetto trilogy." So he chose to do The World's End over this movie, and dropped out. He did test footage for this movie. It's the entire reason that the movie was made. I remember watching this test footage. It came out in 2012 or 2011 Comic-Con of like, this is what we want to do with Ant-Man, because everybody was like, how the heck do you make a good Ant-Man movie? The moment he showed that test footage, some of which there's a fight scene in this movie that is very much part of that. The test footage, a recreation of it, is brilliant. Okay? And the moment that we kind of saw that, we're like, oh, I want to see this movie. This changes everything. Now, Edgar Wright's version, we don't have the script. There's a couple of things that we do know, such as it was always a heist movie. It was going to be a little bit less actiony. It was going to be a little bit less bombastic. It was more comedic. It was more of just a straight up comedy in the vein of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And that led to a little bit more friction with the studio as well. And this is a rumor that I've heard. I was not able to substantiate this in any way, but one of the rumors is that the character of Scott Lang wasn't necessarily the comic book accurate version, but that the main Ant-Man is actually an ant who was turned into a man.
Okay. That would be interesting.
Again, that's unsubstantiated. I remember hearing it in an interview talking about the movie a number of years ago, and I wasn't able to find any solid reference to it. Just like Reddit rumors. Edgar Wright has not seen this movie. He described it, he put so much work into it. He said that he has no doubt that Peyton Reed did a very good job, but it would be like going to your ex-wife's wedding.
I can sympathize
I
with
think
that.
he said it was like watching your ex-wife's sex tape or something like that. He made some comment along those lines.
Yeah, no, I can
so
totally understand why he would be like, no, I'm just, it's better to just not even go there.
Yep.
It's a lose-lose, right? You either see it and you hate it and you go, oh, I could have, if they only had made my version, or you see it and you love it and you're like, oh, well, it's probably a good thing that I didn't do it then. But that, it's like, it's a lose-lose creatively.
Yeah. Exactly. A lot of people are just like, I want to see Edgar Wright's version and yada yada. And I'm sure it would have been really good. But I've also learned that I don't like Edgar Wright as much as I thought I did. The Cornetto trilogy is really good, even if some of it's not my speed. I love Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Baby Driver was great. but watching a bunch of the other stuff, like Last Night in Soho, his Grindhouse short film.
I actually went
Some
and
of the other
saw
stuff that he's
Running
done.
Man in theaters with Connor.
Oh, I haven't seen that. How is
I
it?
was not impressed.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
oh, who's the main guy? He's
Oh, big smiley guy.
I forgot his name.
Yeah, I know
From
who you're talking
Top
about.
Gun
Top
Maverick
Gun guy.
and
Glenn Powell.
Glenn Powell, Twisters. He is genuinely great. He is charismatic. He really does have what it takes to, I think, be like lead a film. But talk about, in my opinion, a wasted opportunity. A movie that was just all over the place tonally. Didn't it had moments. The action was very eh. Yeah, I was very disappointed because Baby Driver was I truly amazing. I think that movie really was, and specifically, Hot Fuzz is one of my all-time favorite action comedies ever made. I think Shaun of the Dead and At World's End are both very good, but Hot Fuzz is special to me. That's a story for a different time, but you can ask Dan about it also. He was there. Anyways, but yeah, I would definitely be curious to see his movies, his version of this. But what we ended up getting, I really liked. I said this already, and I'll say it many times, I'm sure, throughout this. This movie is what I hadn't seen it in a few years, and when I rewatched it, I was just like, this is just so much fun. This is just good stuff. I also do have a soft spot for Paul Rudd. I'll admit that right away. I mean, I don't love every movie he's been in, but out of kind of your modern, who's the director? Judd Apatow, kind of.
What?
Jude Apatow. He's a director, writer. He did.
Oh, that guy. He does crappy comedies.
Yeah, but I mean, he was kind of the king of the rated R comedies. Kind of the the cast of kind of, he did Freaks and Geeks and Jason Segel stuff.
Knocked Up. This is 40-year-old version.
Yeah, a lot of the Jonah Hill stuff. And anyways, I mean, kind of just it was like 10 years there where he was, just the king of kind of modern comedies. And he worked with Paul Rudd a few times. And I think of Paul Rudd kind of in that group of comedians. And out of all of them, Paul Rudd was my favorite. I think he had that everyman quality. He has really good dry timing to his comedy. He can be just haha funny, but he also can do drama really well. He has a quality that I enjoy as an actor, and I think that he was a really good choice for Scott. I also would say too, I forget her name. If you have the IMDb up,
Evangeline Lilly,
the actress. Well, I mean, yes, I do like her. No, the actress who plays his daughter, Cassie.
Oh, who plays his daughter? Oh, yeah, I know who that is. Abby Ryder Forston.
She was so good. She steals almost every scene she's in. She's cute.
She's great.
She's funny. She's great. Even the actor who plays the new husband, the cop, he's great. There were so many little roles in this movie. The other two criminals that are the Russian hacker and the Hispanic driver, right? Oh no, not the Hispanic. He's a black guy. But I mean, just the crew, right? That work with Michael Pena. Yeah. They're all just very fun little bit parts that I think when you can nail a lot of that secondary casting, which I mean, to be fair, Marvel's done that more than once. Where they've really nailed a lot of that stuff. And we talked about this with Guardians, I think. I mean, all the little actors that just so good. I think this movie really, that was one of its strengths. And then, yeah, I think getting, Michael Douglas to play Hank is great. Evangeline Lilly is somebody who I really enjoy. Her haircut's a tragedy, but she's great. I did not buy their chemistry in this movie a whole lot. I thought it was better in The Wasp, but when they kind of hooked up, I thought that was just out of nowhere, at least.
And stupid.
Yeah. Anyways, but you should give us the rundown, and we should get watching this thing.
Yes. Okay, so this is Antman, 2015, PG-13, 1 hour, 57 minutes long, directed by Peyton Reed, written by Joe Cornish, Adam McKay, and Edgar Wright. There's a whole bunch of really confusing writing stuff to this, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Starring, of course, Paul Rudd, Michael Douglas, Corey Stoll, Evangeline Lilly, and honorable mentions to Bobby Cannavale, Judy Greer, Michael Pena, David Dastalmakian, and with special appearances by Haley Atwell and John Slattery.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right. Well, as usual, we encourage you guys to watch this along with us, or if you just know this movie well enough to play it in your head, I mean, that works too. But we are going to hit that play button in 3, 2, 1, go.
Play.
You forgot also we have a little appearance by Anthony Mackie in this film.
Yes, that's right. We do have an appearance by Anthony Mackie. This is one of those things where it's just like, I love the appearance of the Triskelion. I think that that's great.
This movie is great in how it does tie you into the bigger world without leaning on it. Like, there are several lines about the Avengers, despite obviously, actually going and stealing something from it, but like, just the Hank's comments about not only Avengers but the Starks in general. They're good lines, and they do a fantastic job of just making it connected. It's also, this movie does actually do what you would always want to ask, which is, if you're in one of these situations in this world, wouldn't you be like, shouldn't we just call the Avengers?
Yeah.
It actually...
Well, okay, and I love the connection, because this right here is one of those just fantastic connections of everything, because you immediately have Carter, you have Stark from Iron Man 2, and you have Michael Douglas's Hank Pym. So this version of Howard Stark had never appeared in a movie with Haley Atwell. It's just like, it's all these things crushing together. It creates this basis. It creates a reason why we haven't really heard of Hank Pym. It shows him how important it is. And one of the funny things a theory, depending on how you see the time travel in Endgame, is that one of the reasons he might be distrustful of them with his serum, not just its power, is because 2 vials of it went stolen about 10 years before this.
Yep. Yep.
In Endgame.
Yeah. I mean, it does make sense. Also, too, I have to say the de-aging on Michael Douglas's face at the beginning of this is not bad.
Oh, yeah, it's quite good, in fact. It's one of the things that I noticed. Because part of it is that they filmed it with him wearing a whole lot of makeup. And they were able to just do tweaks on it. It was like a very early version of it, but they were realizing that you don't want to go full digital.
Yeah. Yeah, he avoided having that uncanny valley effect on his face.
Mm-hmm. Now, Paul Rudd is great. I don't watch Paul Rudd stuff. The only other thing I had ever seen him in, other than Antman, or when I'd seen this, was a couple episodes of Parks and Recreation. That was my only context for him.
That's right. He did have a guest role in that for a little while.
Yeah, he was just this total moron.
Yeah.
This does one of those things that I'm kind of annoyed at, because they repeat it with his daughter in Quantumania, Ant-Man 3. And it's obnoxious. It works for this role, but they keep using it later, and I really don't like it. In that he's in prison, not because he's a criminal, but because he's this righteous Robin Hood character who got put away for doing something just. Which, again, works for him, but they carry it on to his daughter, and they use it again with a couple of other characters, and it's just... I hate the trope.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need a character who did really crappy things.
Yeah. And I Quantumania is just... I have strong feelings about that film. Anyways,
Sorry, 1 second. I need to rant really fast.
Go for it.
Okay? They have him in San Quentin.
Yeah.
San Quentin. That is a maximum security prison. That's where they were keeping Charles Manson.
Yeah.
A friend of mine actually worked at San Quentin as a therapist, and she even met she met Charles Manson. Freaking having him in San Quentin would be insane.
It would be. This whole sequence right here, though. It just like,
Yeah.
I mean,
My dad got the button.
I got the van. Oh,
It
man.
immediately establishes him as such a supportive and optimistic character.
Yeah.
You realize that this is the same van that becomes the most important van in the world in Endgame?
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because they have
Like,
the quantum realm thing in the back of this van.
mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
man. But
Another thing I love about this movie is the setting. I love that it's not in New York or something like that. It's in just where you don't get superhero movies very much,
no.
which is like the West Coast. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Well, the West Coast,
freaking
it's
San
weird
Francisco.
because San Francisco, this whole scene too. I mean, you and I. I mean, you're currently working in food service, but you've worked in the lower ends of it. So have I. There are customers like this where you're just like, dude, do you even know where you are? What is wrong with you?
Yes, I have
Like,
run
this
into
is-
that. I had a guy. I was working at a freaking Asian bistro, and I had a guy ask me for empanadas.
You're like, can you just take care of this idiot?
Yeah,
This-
no, that happened today.
Oh man, this manager also, whoever this actor is, man, just like. And then I love after this whole conversation, just of course, you can take one of those mango blasts or whatever. But when they get back, that even his like the people in his apartment are like, Baskin Robbins always finds out. Just the idea that somehow
There's just this weird mythologizing of Baskin Robbins
Robbins.
is hilarious.
It's just,
Okay, also the idiot customer though. I wanted to talk about him.
go for it.
Did you recognize him at all?
I'm sure I've seen his face around, but no, I did not recognize him.
So right now, Fallout Season 2 just ended.
Oh,
He was in
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
the Brotherhood of Steel initiate who becomes a ghoul.
That's right, because that famous scene at the end of the first season where he's like sitting there, like realizing, oh dang it, I can't die. This sucks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's funny. On
But
your
yeah,
way
this
out the
guy
door.
just looks like he would be a Baskin Robbins manager.
Just like the,
Like, I'm sorry, sir, but you do.
it's just so good. I mean, I think again too, this movie, this is an efficient film as far as like how much it's establishing its tone immediately. Because you had the whole opening scene where you establish the history of Hank Pym, you kind of establish the stakes, the larger world this is in. But this whole opening scene, it establishes tone, the style of humor, his character really well. This is just a really good opening for kind of setting up the kind of film this is going to be.
Yeah. No, it really is. It's so dry. It's not like slapstick funny. And it's not Whedon-esque humor, which is like we'd only really seen humor in the MCU as either Jon Favreau or Joss Whedon. And I love the dry humor and just like straightforward, slightly surreal almost in some ways.
Okay, I really want waffles all of a sudden. This is not good.
Dude, those are good looking waffles.
I know, just like a
And
good
of
waffle.
course we have David Dastmalchian. Okay, I love this man. When I saw this, I remember pointing out, being like, "It's the schizophrenic dude from The Dark Knight."
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And
That's
now
some epic hair, by the way.
Now he's in so much more. He's an Oscar nominee now. Like, I mean, he Oppenheimer, Dune Part 1, The Suicide Squad, like, he's in just so much good stuff. He's so great.
Well, he's funny. He can be serious. He's got a face that
creepy.
Yeah, he has a face that can go all the way from comedy to horror and everything in between. Yeah, it's great.
I absolutely adore his performance in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad as the Polka Dot Man.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
so funny.
Yeah,
He's so good.
That is a character I did not know what to do with when I first saw that. Like halfway through, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, he's actually great.
Yeah. It's like my mother. The other guy, Dave, he's in a lot of stuff, but he's not really in much in general. But he's like a rapper, so he's in all these like music videos. His name is Tip T.I. Harris.
I do love the.
Here we get.
Yeah, I mean,
tank.
Yeah, the little introduction to the tank. But I do love the also what a quick way to establish time when he says yes, I'm still alive with the guard at the at the gate. It's just a
Yeah.
immediately kind of lets you know. I mean, obviously they're kind of reiterating it here, but that he doesn't come around very much anymore. But man, her
Yeah.
haircut.
Oh, so
She is
bad.
such a beautiful woman, and that is such a tragic haircut.
Okay, I feel bad. Like, she is objectively attractive. I have never found her
That's fine.
particularly attractive.
Yeah, I
She
mean-
always looks like a pointer dog.
You
to
watched
me.
Lost, right?
I did. And
Eh,
she still looked like a pointer dog. You know those dogs?
Yeah, I mean, okay.
What is that
you
breed?
you are entitled to your opinion, my friend.
Even when it's wrong?
I'm not even gonna say it's wrong because I mean, beauty is a very strange thing, especially when it comes to females. But no, she's pretty high up there for me.
Yeah,
But I also
she's-
actually
she's
find
too
her
pointy.
to be I find her to also just be a really good actress. So
She is a very good actress. I don't dislike her as an actress.
Yeah.
But to me, she's not. She's not. Oh, that beautiful leading woman. She doesn't attract me to the character because of her looks, which
Yeah.
I know I'm a shallow guy. It's just the way that I am. Okay. Haley Atwell. All right. Captain America. All day.
Marvel
But,
has managed to get a couple attractive women on their payroll.
But,
This is like such
yeah,
a low blow though to like surprise somebody with the and like not even say it. Like there's no just let it be on the model, the whole cross industries and kind of just like it is again too giving you the relationship between these guys. I mean, and they expound on it multiple times throughout the film, but just you're not left wondering at all from the very beginning as far as just this is
Okay. This
Well,
is
there's some
footage that
history
was
here.
actually directed by Edgar Wright. And he noticed the tank, number 153.
it's his time.
That's the tank that's on the keychain. Okay? And so I thought that was very interesting, even if it does kind of break the rules of the physics in this that they established in this world. That's another criticism. Tales to Astonish was the comic book in which Hank Pym as Ant-Man first appeared.
Okay. See, I
Fun
don't
little Easter egg there.
I don't know as much about his comic history. Most of my Marvel education about these characters actually came from a couple animated films that happened before the MCU got started that were direct-to-video stuff.
Yeah.
And it included Hank and what's it's not Hope, that's the daughter. What's his wife's name?
Janet Van Dyne.
Janet. Yeah, as Wasp. So
Yeah. So Hank Pym first appeared like way back in okay, so technically like they retroactively had him appear as an unnamed character in Strange Tales number 75 from 1960, but he technically appeared as Ant-Man for the first time as Hank Pym in 1961's Tales to Astonish number 35.
okay.
And he was actually the first Yellow Jacket.
But see,
He
I
went
do
back,
like the
'cause
design
Hank
of the
Pym
Yellow
has a very
Jacket.
complicated history.
Yeah, I do think the Yellow Jacket's pretty cool.
Oh, very. Yeah, I agree. I think they did a great job. I think it is one of the best, like comic to costume things.
Well, it looks
Hank-
good, and it also is so like this. If you would absolutely make this, I mean, like somebody would design and come up with this. If you had this tech and you wanted to, like, why wouldn't you? This actually would be in so many ways superior to the Iron Man suit.
Yeah, and you could see that it would be inspired by the Iron Man suit. Like Yellow Jacket is the ultimate combination of the original Hank Pym Ant-Man and Iron Man.
Yeah.
Right? Also, you'll note that everything he does in this little demo video, it happens in the final fight. Like literally.
Oh
everything.
yeah, the briefcase and the
The helicopter and the killing the guy with the lasers. Yeah, but
I do love it's a suit.
yeah. Well, because that's the thing, right? Like the Iron Man suit and whatnot. You know.
Yeah.
There's one of the things I wanted to talk about is the character of Hank Pym. He's a complicated character in the Marvel canon, partially because they had this miscommunication supposedly between an artist and an author that led to a shocking panel in which he punches his wife in the face. And it became this legendary cursed comic book panel that took the character of Hank Pym and turned him into a villain. And he then fluctuated off and on between hero and villain and like alcoholic wife beater and noble hero for so long that they didn't feel that Hank Pym should be depicted as the main hero of the Ant-Man movie because he's too much of a has too much of a problematic legacy. So they instead make him a bitter old man with emotional problems and make Scott Lang the main character.
It does work though too. I mean, it works in a because I like having some history to the MCU. You know, the idea that Shield has been around for a while. Obviously, with Captain America: First Avenger, we kind of had that going. At this point, Agent Carter had happened as a show. So I mean, the idea of kind of continuing to flush that out while also coming up with a way to have it be current with this this in the timeline at this time, I think worked really well. So I think it worked out, and also getting somebody like Michael Douglas to play the older version is just good because you get kind of the good legacy actors of that age. They can pull off that character well. This whole man, so
this probably hits a little bit harder for you than it would for me.
It does. I mean, I was never in this exact position, but yeah, this I mean. They managed to thread this really, really fine line between letting the emotional reality and weight of this happen and be pretty accurate, but not bogging it down, which is good.
Yeah,
and it helps that this guy, I forget the character's name, but I just call him the new husband. That he is a combination of kind of he's a little bit of a hard ass. But he's not a jerk,
Yeah, they even he has legitimate complaints, especially being a police officer. It makes a lot of sense. Also that rabbit, the hideous rabbit that he gave his daughter, the voice is the voice of SpongeBob.
Oh gosh.
Just a little voice cameo for the voice of SpongeBob.
I didn't realize that. That's funny. This actress also, do you remember her name off the top of your head?
God. Judy Greer. Okay. Freaking Judy Greer. She was the best friend in every dirty romantic comedy. And then she became the mother in every action adventure. Like, she's the mom of the kids in Jurassic World and a couple of other things. I mainly know her as the voice of Cheryl/Carol from the show Archer.
Did
you know that was her?
No, I didn't know that was her. She's somebody who I genuinely like. She pops up so often, but she was a good she was a good get for this role.
She was, but like I said, she's taken in that. She went from being the best friend to being the mom. I remember what it was. It was Tomorrowland, Jurassic World,
that's right,
and Antman. One after the other, the mom of the characters, the mom of the characters, the mom of the characters. So it's just fascinating to me. Oh, right here. The best, grossest death in the MCU.
Yeah, this is just like... Also, too, this whole scene is just played so creepy. Like, just like his little mannerisms and just his reaction. He's so... Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah. They really needed this scene to make him, like, evil as hell, right?
Yeah.
Because that's just what fits. And they have this little scene where he just looks up, looks himself in the eye, and I don't know, I always remembered that scene. Where it's like, he knows he's not human, or he's lost his humanity, or something like that. And he's unbothered by it. He can look himself in the mirror after killing somebody. Because you know that whole, how do you look at yourself in the mirror?
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
After
That
you do
is
something
like one
hideous,
of the
he has
cliches.
no hesitation of looking himself in the mirror
Yeah.
after murdering a man.
Well, and then cutting right to this conversation is the immediate next scene is very telling. I mean, I always thought his interactions with Hope, I never quite could put my finger on exactly where I thought as far as how much he really trusted her, like when he kind of suspected, if he always suspected, or because later on when he when he's the scene at the house when he was like I came there to kill him and you were there, and they have one of those like you betrayed me scenes when like the evil person's like mad that somebody betrayed him, and it's like, dude, come on. But I always wondered just if it was just the arrogance, if she really had gotten him that convinced that she was on his side. It's just never really sure. That was one of the things about the writing of this that I feel like they kind of just kept that ambiguous the entire time.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. This whole okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like they really do give him a solid reason for suddenly being like, I'm going to be a criminal again. Like it's not an illogical jump.
No, and that he is trying to like, okay, this isn't like a violent, crime or that kind of thing, and but just the way they set this up too, where he comes in, he takes a beer, he like takes a good long drink, and like, okay, let me, I'm doing this, and like then we ask, and then this was so unexpected. This I remember the first time I saw this, when I realized what they were doing here, I was just like, oh, this is like genuinely funny.
And just all the little details.
The wrong details.
It's so great. He's just like, this little one thing, it was delightful,
I'm not really into Reds, Of course, like that guy like him is like a wine guy, and just like those little things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And everybody thought that this had to be Edgar Wright, right? This scene is so Edgar Wright, isn't it?
It seems like it would be, but I've heard that it's not.
It wasn't him. This wasn't in Edgar Wright's script, according to pretty much everybody. Like, they made this up for him, and one of the great sins, the many, 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 many great sins of Ant-Man Quantumania was not including the character of Luis.
Yeah. What? Oh, man. Just the idea that after all that, and he's like not even sure what he even was talking about.
Right? So many people were like, we want an entire recap of the MCU done by Luis. And Marvel never did that. And I was always surprised. Like, why didn't they have Luis freaking like have some sort of big recap? It'd be hilarious,
Did he ever show up in any of the what ifs?
I don't know. I'm blanking.
Because I only ever saw the first
all of
season.
the
I don't
what
remember.
ifs.
So
I know that David Dastmalchian did his character. Let's see. Wait, what the heck? Michael Pena played Domingo Chavez in the Jack Ryan series?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
I
he's
never watched
been around.
Season 3 and 4. That's a weird casting.
Yeah,
it's a really weird casting.
I remember him weirdly. I remember him a lot in Shooter as the like rookie FBI guy.
Oh yeah, he was really good in that.
Yeah, he was kind of the one that ended up joining Mark Wahlberg's character.
Yeah, little crew, because he was like an FBI agent, and he figures out that he's good because they have that whole scene with like the no firing pin, and he like shoots him.
Yeah,
quotes around shoots with a 50 caliber anti-material rifle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that they have established also here, even here, and I mean the opening prison scene, and later on he's got his shirtless scene that Scott Lang is like physically fit and capable, which does help, I think, his transition into being capable in the suit. Also, to again, somebody else who the pressure of jumping into this universe of like, you got to look good because you got the
well, they didn't even expect him to put in all that work, and he put in a lot of work.
Oh yeah, but again, you're jumping into a world
number
where
153.
Oh yeah, he's got the tank, but you're jumping into a world where you've got the Chris's all in there now. You got all three of them at this point, and even Robert Downey Jr. got into great shape. This is a
Oh yeah.
this whole opening, not opening, this breaking in sequence. I really do like. I think that it's creative. It shows his ability to kind of improvise. And the way that he does this is like not way out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a way that I think a lesser film would have just tried to pretend like you could just tape and just use tape, but going the extra mile of creating the like thick super glue part of it, just I don't know. It was just one step further than a lot of films would go that I appreciated.
Yeah, I agree. I like that a lot. I like stuff like this in heist and detective movies and stuff. I just think it's good.
Yeah.
But I feel so bad for Kumail Nanjiani. He was Kingo in the Eternals. He got into such good shape for that, and he got like mocked for it. Where that always pissed me off thinking about that.
He's stayed in really good shape.
Paul Rudd
though.
and Chris Pratt did so good at like getting the superhero bod, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of the whole? Have you ever seen the movie The Score with Robert De Niro and Edward Norton? Okay.
Yeah.
It directed by Frank Oz, by the way.
What?
Yep.
Kermit?
Yep. And Yoda.
Yoda?
But anyways, so it famously had a safe busting scene where to break into his safe, he drilled a hole, filled it with water, and then dropped just a tiny depth charge. But because of the water pressure, it blew the door out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this was like 15 years before this movie, and I always think of that when I see this.
Okay, I can see that.
But I do like creative. Again, I like creative solutions. I like that this is not, he didn't, they didn't do the normal. All right, I'll just sit there and like, I can just listen, with my ear to the safe kind of thing. It's just, it's a somewhat creative solution to the problem. Even down to the fact of like having the air mattress and all that kind of, putting the sleeping bag up here. It just he thinks of details. I love it when a main character is shown to be a guy who thinks of details.
Yeah. And they give him a shot here to like explain and be all Mr. Smarty Pants for a second. Yeah.
Nice. Although a safe door like that would have just murdered like a camping air mattress.
Yeah. Oh, dude, so much. So what do you think of the whole idea that this is all an elaborate setup by Pym to get Scott Lang to do this?
It's I could see it's I don't know. It's not perfect. I do think, somebody who has been, the more you get about Hank's history, the idea that he wants to know what this guy can do, that he basically sets this up to be an audition, is I don't know. It's not perfect, but I don't hate it.
I kind of hate it.
All right.
Like, this scene helps that he's watching the whole thing. I more like the idea that he like stumbled upon it, but I don't know. It just it feels so
the
lazy
fact that he said earlier in the film, like, I think I found a guy that he was looking for criminals that would have the right like psychology. And the idea that he would be looking outside the traditional system because he doesn't trust the traditional system, right? He doesn't want to look for the Steve Rogers. He wants to look for the kind of anti-Steve Rogers, right?
Yeah. The little sheep, and it's so cute, and it's dead.
And he's murdering sheep. I love the idea also that, like, I thought we were using mice or rats because psychologically I don't care as much when you murder a rat.
Yeah, that's actually very true. That's a legitimate
it may not be fair, but it is accurate.
Like, well, let's kill more.
Yeah, I like that San Francisco has some character. Just because there's you and I both grew up in the area where we visited there many times. There is a an identity to its urban kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And this movie does let it actually breathe a little bit. You get some of the landscape shots. Whenever you're outside, you can tell this is genuinely San Francisco where they shot it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
at least they shot part
San
of it.
Francisco's a real hole these days, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Like, it's real bad, guys. Don't go to San Francisco.
I love that he actually is like checking it out, like not just putting it on immediately. I mean, granted it's one scene there, but the fact that again we gave at least a tiny scene that showed that he was like kind of,
not being a total moron.
Yeah, this whole sequence though, very creative in my opinion. I like this whole sequence quite a bit.
So good. The way that they did so many details in this, they put some of the most insane lenses on cameras to see how small they could film and get as practical as possible. They have a really excellent reference right there to the shrinking of how it looks in the comics with the kind of the fade, almost ghost effect.
Now,
but yeah, they were able to get such good reference footage just from
when
using
you shrink down
lenses.
though, because it sure appeared there. You don't shrink down; you shrink towards your center. Is that correct? Which is why he actually kind of fell.
Yes. That is what it should be. It depends on the comic book. A lot of the early ones just have him shrinking down. But a lot of them have him shrinking inward.
Because you would kind of like have him shrink towards the regulator in the suit, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like the focal point of the tech.
Like that right there. There was actually a lot of practical shots in there that then moved into a water simulation. And
okay, how much protection does this suit give him? Because he takes some hits.
So one of the things about it is it supposedly, when you're shrunk, your strength and endurance are increased significantly. And that's one of the things that makes them a superhero. That the rule there is broken later in with the tank. Like, he should be able to carry the tank around because it should be as heavy as a tank, right?
Well, yeah, that's the thing is where I know they talk about it when they're talking about fighting later. The idea that you can hit with as much force as a grown man, but concentrate it into, a fist that's shrunken down to this point. And like, how does that work? And like, how much control you have over it? I mean, the consistency of it is
inconsistent.
Yeah, it's inconsistent. I mean, to be fair, I think every film in the entire nerd genre is guilty of inconsistencies to a certain extent. So you forgive it to a certain point.
It's just this whole sequence, though, is so good. Like, they would have needed to model the interior of a vacuum cleaner. Him falling through the floors, the record player, the rat.
Rat would be terrifying at this scale for sure.
Yeah, just a little bit. Whee!
I think the biggest thing is.
Here.
I was going to say, I think the biggest. Go ahead.
That is the first human being to portray Ant-Man in live action on an SNL skit.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm at it.
This
is great.
His name's Garrett Morris, and he was on SNL. And they did a skit where he was Ant-Man. And he's the first live-action Ant-Man, technically, because of that skit. Moron.
Oh, gosh. So, the thing that really isn't like bother me, because it's, superhero film, whatever. But the fall damage that he does not take, considering the heights that he falls from a couple times, and just, like, hits the ground, and he's, like, fine. It's just like, the scale is so like he's falling the equivalent of like 10 stories.
Yeah, but the general idea is that because he's smaller, even though he does have a concentrated like strength, he doesn't necessarily have the same mass atomically. So it's almost like how you can an ant can never die from fall damage, and that's true. You could drop an ant off the Empire State Building and it won't die from the impact.
Yeah.
It'll die from other reasons, but it won't die from the impact.
Yeah, that is true. And it is one of those, again, it doesn't like lessen my enjoyment of the film at all. It is just definitely one of those where I'm just like, he should be squished. But
Yeah,
that's not how it works.
Yeah. And await further instructions. He reminds me almost of the Elusive Man.
A little bit, yeah.
Things. Yeah. Maybe it's just because I actually got Michael Douglas and
Charlie Sheen.
Not Estes. Charlie Sheen.
Martin Sheen.
Mixed up. Martin Sheen.
Sorry, Charlie Sheen is his crazy son.
Yes. Yeah, goodness. The Sheens.
Yeah. Martin Sheen is the award-winning, amazing actor. Charlie Sheen can occasionally be funny, and that's about the best thing I can say for him.
Right. Hot Shots Part 2.
I actually liked Hot Shots Part 1 a lot also, as a Top Gun fan.
I've never actually seen either of them, to be honest.
They're worth watching once.
Okay. That's good to know. I love the whole rabbit thing because, I mean, you have kids, you know that they do stuff like that. They'll latch on
they
to
get attached.
Stupidest crap.
Yeah. But I think here, I mean, it's stupid, but it's also because it's from her dad. You know, it makes sense. And I like that even behind closed doors, you know, she's fairly sweet to him. Okay. How do they make the suit big here? How do the ants, do they hit the button?
Probably press a button.
They just press the button? The ants press the button?
Yeah. I don't see why not.
Yeah, I guess so. Need a Weedle suit.
In fact, you actually see the one. You see one of them go around to the side, and its head like bumps down onto the hand.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah,
Nice.
Probably right. How dare you say something so terrible to me?
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That was not 5 seconds.
No. That is actually one of those things that really bothered me. The first time I watched,
You could not get into a
me,
suit that
actually.
fast. Yeah.
Yeah. Yakult. Have you ever had one of those Yakult?
I've never had one.
Yogurt cups. They're actually pretty good. They're tasty, and they make you feel like you're doing something good for your body. I don't know if you always are, but they make you feel like it. The Henley shirt. Just
Okay,
like,
I
fuck
always
you.
wondered too the idea here of like, okay, we're escaping police custody. You need to get outside the 5-block perimeter. Like, you're an ant. You can just leave. Like, why do you need to go with the police car? Like, try to just. This felt like a little bit like we've got to make the escape seem more exciting when there was no need to like ride the police car coming up here and do this whole thing. They could have just left, you know?
I don't know. That's a really good point.
I mean, again, these are minor things.
Yeah. But I also think that it might have to do with, like... Okay, that right there is definitely a reference to The Dark Knight. That shot, the fixed position, because it was the same, like... The same look as the scene of the Joker hanging out of the thing in The Dark Knight.
Yeah. Oh, that shot is so good.
Yeah. But I think that it is to make it more exciting, but it also makes sense. It shows the type of things that Ant-Man needs to do to get around. He's not just going to fly around on an ant. It'd be like trying to ride a bike across the Mojave, you know? So he needs to take shortcuts, right?
Oh yeah, no, I get that. I get the idea that I think you could have. Yeah, I mean,
Did you notice the newspaper?
I did not specifically. Oh, the Sokovia.
The newspaper said, "Who's to blame for Sokovia?"
Yeah, and because they bring that up later when Hank's like, "Oh, they're probably dropping, you know, when they're not dropping buildings out of the sky or something."
Yeah.
I need the snooze button.
Yeah, that whole thing there also of like G-forces, right? It was going too fast and kind of panicky, right?
Yeah. Well, also too, just the sense of from his perspective, how high up was he right there?
Yeah, vertigo.
Yep. Okay,
Scary stuff.
there are no ants in the wide shot here. Just want to say when they showed, from her point of view, like, and all of a sudden they're all here. I guess she could have
I
called them
never
in
noticed
as
that.
soon as he saw that. As soon as she saw that he was awake. You see,
That's a
right
good
there.
point. I
There's
never even
nothing on the
considered that.
ground,
Yeah, I see that. You're
and
right.
all of a sudden,
And then, well, they are on the carpet. No, yep, you're right. They're right.
I mean,
Blooper.
it's a tiny thing. Again,
It's an inconsistency, sir, that is unforgivable.
I'm nitpicking, just because that's
Unforgivable.
that's what we do.
No forgiveness.
I do love, though, that one of the first questions would be like, whose pajamas are they? Like, yeah, I'd want to know, like, I did not come in these. And when
Who put them on me?
yeah, if you wake up and your pants are different, I would be like, excuse me?
I mean, that's one of those tropes, like that's in stuff, like especially with women, where it's just like they woke up and they're in different clothes, and you're like, who changed me? And they turn it into a joke. I know that they did that in dang, I'm blanking, but they did it in I think maybe a James Bond movie.
Oh,
They
yeah.
did it in Archer. I know they did it in the show Archer.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure they did that in Goldfinger.
That sounds right.
But anyways, this I appreciate they take a little time kind of getting to it where they kind of let her also have been in the dark about his motivations, yet at the same time sticking the idea that she came to her dad for help when she realized how evil Mr. Cross was, and that he still kind of had never really revealed to her, what had really gone. But just like using the layers here of why he's being recruited and he's being used when obviously she's right there, and kind of letting the family drama play out while at the same time he's trying to get back to his daughter. I don't know, there's some layers here that I enjoy. I think that the pacing isn't perfect, but I appreciate the work being done to kind of give people's motivations meaning in a way that makes sense.
It's very much a father-daughter movie. That's like
Yeah.
the whole crux of all the relationships. And that's going to really hit it off with a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't.
Is it just me, or does it look like a hearing aid?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to.
I mean, it's supposed to.
It would
I'm
make
just being a
sense.
brat. It's. It would definitely fly under the radar, right? To just have that in. I love the hand. Yeah. Just great. Raise your hand, Scott.
Who are you? Who is he? And what the hell is going on?
I can make the jail now.
I like that. That's the response. Is can I go back to jail now?
Oh gosh. Love that he's still got the keypad in the glass right there in the door.
Learning to decrease the space between atoms is such a fantastic bullshit way of saying something. Like,
you would break the universe so much, like if you could actually do that, right?
I cannot express how broken that statement is. Like, I can't. There's people who believe that it might be theoretically possible to compress matter. That's how the entire Alcubierre warp drive theoretically works, which is the most physics theoretically possible method of warp travel, much like entering subspace, which would be the compression of matter until you're in a different state of reality. But it's so crazy to even talk about.
I do like this layer. I like it's a cool mixture of kind of old tech and new tech. Like it looks, he's got some cool machinery, but he's also got just paper taped on the wall. It's a good. I like the corrugated, like it's kind of an old bunker feeling to it.
I was gonna say the corrugated walls make it feel like an old bunker that he might have built during the Cold War, because they've already established his Cold War creds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paul Rudd has such a weird look to him, just in general, where he doesn't feel like a young man, but he also just doesn't feel old. He has this kind of weird agelessness about him.
Yeah.
People make jokes about it, and he's starting to show his age these days. But there's this strange middle ground where you can't really tell. Like, is he 30? Is he 40? Could he be 50? And he was
Yeah.
like 45 when he filmed this.
I want you to break it with. It's a good line.
It is.
I am done breaking it. Oh, gosh.
Hang's lawyers. Like, they also show that they're doing some legitimate, like, investigations, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
This guy, he's been in stuff.
He's been in a bunch. Wasn't he? He's been in some sitcoms and stuff, hasn't he? Isn't he actually
I don't know,
more
I hate
famous
sitcoms.
for comedy? I feel like.
That sounds right. I don't like sitcoms, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me look and see what he's been in. He was in a show called Human Resources for 8 episodes. He was in a show called 9 Perfect Strangers for 8 episodes. He was in the show Homecoming for 11 episodes. Mr. Robot, I saw a few episodes of that. Wasn't super impressed. Will and Grace, he was on Will and Grace.
Wasn't part of. I feel like this isn't mentioned here, but part of what makes this work is that the lamb is in a container and not being hit directly by the rays. Which is like
maybe that's
part of why
the
you need to be in a suit versus, just chilling, right?
Yeah, that could be. That could be. I like that they use the jumping off point here of Captain America Winter Soldier, so that like it makes sense that that guy that he was arguing with at the beginning, who's part of Shield, is now a bad guy because he's actually part of Hydra, right?
Yeah, it does make sense.
Yeah.
Well, that they integrated the plot elements up to this point well into the script, because I mean, obviously they were working on this well before, Winter Soldier and Age of Ultron were written and filmed, but they were able to, without winking too hard, bringing in right here some cute technology like the Iron Man suit that and because
he's not wrong, because if you think about it, his discovery here is what leads to time travel. This is like him calling the Iron Man suit cute. A lot of people thought that was just kind of a dumb little like wink to Iron Man, but it does actually make sense that he would be that concerned about it.
Yeah, well, and comparatively, what he's doing here with the Pym particle versus, I mean, Tony's an amazing engineer, right? But the Iron Man suit on a technical level compared to what he's doing with these particles, totally different in terms of how revolutionary they are. One's just a really, well-designed, miniaturized, power source-driven, power suit, right? But this is like literally, quantum physics level stuff going on over here. This is I don't know. I do think that Evangeline Lilly and Michael Douglas's chemistry is also pretty good. I think that her chemistry with him is way more believable to me than her chemistry with Paul Rudd.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. Sorry, I accidentally bumped my mic and it turned it off. I was trying to say it's a high-tech prosthesis, Brian.
Prosthesis.
But yeah, I agree. I like that they have the reference to Iron Man. It felt a little bit like a dumb little low blow, but they carry it through the next few movies, and it really pays off.
Yeah.
And this conversation is particularly important. The whole thing about how he can't use it anymore because before he was able to work out all the bugs, it had that kind of like, there's a brain damage effect. There were other problems, right?
Yeah.
And it creates an extra layer of complication to it, and I like it because it was supposed to flesh out more. That repeated use, unshielded, of the Pym particle will actually cause like brain defects.
That's why it's a big deal to have the helmet on.
It is a big deal to have the helmet on. Dude, have you seen like the original Ant-Man helmet from the comics?
I've seen pictures of it, obviously, but I mean, I've
Yeah.
never like studied it though.
I mean, just Google it right now. Like Ant-Man helmet original. Okay? Like it's it's so ugly. It's such a weird looking thing. Um it does technically briefly pop up in Endgame, and it's like this just weird dome with antennas and eye holes, and then this like strange almost scuba device in the front.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
I
it's
have seen this. Yeah.
so ugly. And this is a really good version of it. I think the design of this suit, it looks practical. Um in like, I like the look of the respirator. I like that it has a little bit of an antenna thing with the swoop back. It's pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate any good. I've always been a sucker for a good training montage, and this is not a
Yeah.
bad one.
No, not at all. It also really helps to build character, because like, you know that he's not incompetent when it comes to fighting. He was in prison, he got into brawls, you saw him at the beginning taking a punch, giving a punch. But um yeah, and it just gives you the little things, while also just it's interspersed with the funnies, and you pretty much can tell it's going to be funny when it has the little bongo drum sound.
Yeah, but they do manage to give it the little serious moments there, like with the mom and
Yeah.
oh gosh, I like again that he keeps kind of tinkering with it, the suit. And that she's just like, no, don't do that. Like they are setting up where it's not out of nowhere, the solution. Although it is a little bit convenient, how he actually pulls himself back out of the quantum realm at the end. But
Yeah.
but still, the idea that it's not out of nowhere.
Yeah. God, this series though, like, the Ant-Man trilogy is arguably the weakest of the individual
Yeah.
character trilogies.
It's unfortunate.
And that's because it keeps getting worse.
Yeah, I didn't hate Ant-Man and the Wasp, but it was definitely a step down. And then Quantum
It was
Mania
just
is
forgettable.
Yeah.
It was just it wasn't anything special. The most memorable thing about it is the ending.
Yeah.
Like that lead up to Endgame, that was just such an important setup.
Okay, I love this because right after Age of Ultron, just the idea of that man has no care for lawn maintenance or whatever. I think of this.
Yeah. Well, did you know that it's a blink and you miss it moment, but you can actually see the lawn burn at the Avengers compound later in the movie that Thor left
really?
behind? Yeah, very, very quick blink and you miss it moment
Okay.
during one of the wide shots.
Hey, he's got
But
your favorite gun.
What do you mean?
Oh, the guard there. He's got the
The guard. I was just like, what gun? I didn't see a gun.
Tarv, the Tarv bullpup.
Oh, the Tavor?
The Tavor, yeah.
Tavor, like Tabor, like Mount Tabor, where
It's
Gideon
the Israeli bullpup.
gathered-
That's why I know it is. It's the Israeli bullpup.
It's a great gun. Okay?
I know. I'm just teasing you, man. This movie, by the way, does have quite honestly, it might be the greatest movie gun sin of all time.
Oh, what? When he jumps on top of the gun with the recoil and all that?
No, when the ants stop a Glock's hammer from firing.
Oh my gosh, I forgot all about that.
The hammer that it comes out of nowhere and is stopped by the ants after
Glock's having
it being
internal-
like so obviously a Glock. Just like
Yeah.
okay, and even she's got the Black Widow.
It should have been a SIG.
Yeah. Okay, see, he's in good shape, dude. I want to look that good.
Right?
I
Little abs going there.
I would be very happy with that.
Giant
gnome.
lawn gnomes would be a little bit creepy. I like that they give the ants kind of this personality. Like, each one's a little bit different. I think it's fun.
It is.
It feels video gamey, to be honest.
It does a little bit.
Like, these are the different ants that you're going to use for your different tasks, It feels like you're setting up the plants in Plants vs. Zombies.
The whole, you kind of, you've got to be, I don't know, like kind of clear your burdens in a way to control the ants, or the idea that the ants, like, you have to, I don't know. It's a little bit convoluted.
It's almost like when you're dealing with dogs or something, right? Like, they're going to sense your anxiety.
Yeah. This is a very sepia tone.
Very sepia tone what?
Just this, like, house in general. Just very...
Yeah.
It's very beige.
Well, they needed to make it feel like an old person's house.
They did, and they did a good job, because Michael Douglas definitely feels like an old person.
Mm-hmm. But we haven't talked about the music yet. That the music in this thing is possibly the most bombastic theme in the entirety of the MCU.
I've honestly never
it's
really...
a composer by the name of Christoph Beck.
Okay, yeah, I've honestly never really thought about it.
Dun 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 dun. He was actually the composer of the main theme for Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Really?
And Frozen.
And Frozen. It's interesting.
Yeah, but other things, right there. Oh, his resume is actually quite good. You have stuff like Shazam, Hawkeye, Free Guy, WandaVision, Frozen 2, Antman, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Ant-Man Quantumania, lots of small things. Edge of Tomorrow that we'll be watching in a few weeks.
Okay.
He's got some good stuff on there, but he's not one of, like, the big ones. But, he could be rising. He has a kind of a creepy face, to be honest.
So, like, this is the scene where supposedly their chemistry is, like, really supposed to be started, right? And I'm picking up, and it's just like, there's nothing romantic I'm picking up here at all.
No, I think that it's a really good moment of, like, character for her.
Well, the idea
like,
of them finding
doing stuff.
Yeah, the idea of them finding some mutual respect for her kind of coming to see that maybe he has something to offer, that's all fine, and that's done just fine. But when they jump to opening the door and they're, like, making out, it's like,
yeah, because there's no flirting between them. Like, that. I need them to flirt, or I'm not gonna believe it. I'm sorry, I'm shallow.
Well, and she's portrayed so fully as just a closed, hardened person.
Yeah, and he...
Yeah, go ahead.
She doesn't seem like a good fit for his personality type.
No.
They seem like they would be in couples counseling for the entirety of their relationship.
I do like this.
I don't know. I don't.
The whole
think
penny thing is very cool, by the way. I love the texture of the card of the dash.
Mm-hmm.
And the penny,
they did so good with
cool.
textures. The texture sampling that they had to do and upscaling those textures, really, really good stuff.
His house is just great.
It is. The house almost feels like a character in and of itself, and I love that they brought it back for the sequel.
Oh yeah, when they turn it into the rolling suitcase, it's just great.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I really love about this the second one.
Yeah, the second one had some good moments for sure, but it just yeah. Okay, this is it's a pretty good flashback sequence. I do enjoy what they do with it when he finishes telling the story where Scott gets in. It just I ruined the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, you did, Scott.
Like this they had a lot more of the scene that they wanted to do than just this. This scene, I don't think that there's another way you could have really done it to make it make sense and to, like, have the same proper impact. But the narration and everything, it fits with the world, but it's so absurd, Also, they used a whole bunch of previs that they had done for the first Avengers movie to get her movement and everything right, so it looks like unique and authentic. But this right here, it's the and he's delivering this line so straight, but it's such a doofus line outside of the context. It's like a Star Trek technobabble line, but it's delivered with such emotional rawness and weight and drama. It's a hard task for even Michael Douglas to pull off.
I think too, it's just he's not the kind of actor you expect to hear use the word quantum a whole lot.
Yeah, oh my god, he has to say it so much.
Quantum is a very Star Trek term.
No, it's freaking not. It means quantitative.
I know, but what I'm saying is, like, in genre, it is, I think, known most for being used in Star Trek, is what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh, I remember when I was younger, I thought quantum torpedo was like the coolest thing in the world from Star Trek First Contact.
Oh yeah? They're blue now.
And then I learned what quantum was, and I'm like, what the hell?
So it's funny, I just literally watched it was hosted by Seth MacFarlane, an interview with Ron Moore and Brendan Braga and two of the other big writers from Next Gen, and it was just a round table. They were just talking about, writing on Next Gen, and they were talking about the technobabble and just, and they specifically started talking about the word, the overuse of quantum this and quantum that, and they were just mocking themselves. So it was so bad, just that literally they would like write on the script, like, you got to tech the tech, captain. If you tech the tech, and then that'll do this to the tech, and just having like a random chart of like. I
can't think of like a lot of quantum. The use of the word quantum, or like quantum matrix, I suppose, is a big one. But yeah, here's that main theme coming in that I was telling you about.
He's like, giving the ants their little backpacks. Bombastic. Right? They did a good job too of making this montage kind of feel like it picked right back up where they paused it briefly to kind of pivot where now he's getting it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now this is fun. I mean, this was a great little tie into the main world, and just I'm glad that they got Falcon, because if it had been anybody else, I don't know. I think, and I don't mean this like because I have anything against Anthony Mackie, but I think he's the Avenger that you can kind of pick on without it feeling mean.
Well, because the only other ones that you can, like, they had already established that Hawkeye was retired.
Yeah.
So that he was retiring, right? He wouldn't be hanging around there. You look at the lineup: Vision, Wanda, and it would feel like bullying if it was what's her face? Okay, this is the shot somewhere you can see the burnt lawn.
Okay.
But
well, I was gonna say it would have had to have been either Black Widow or Falcon. And I think it would have felt mean.
Thank you. I was trying to find the words Black Widow.
Yeah, it would have felt very mean to have done this to Black Widow.
Or sexist.
Yeah, that too. And obviously, you never would have done this with Cap. It just would have felt disrespectful.
Yeah, and expensive.
Yeah. Although I have a feeling that Chris Evans would have been game for it, but I actually do feel like it would have come across as disrespectful to Cap.
Well, one of the things that they considered was Don Cheadle as War Machine, because he showed up at the end of Avengers: Age of Ultron, and he has a Stark Tech suit, right? But he'd be a little bit too bullet-y, right?
Yeah.
Like he would just blow him out of the freaking sky.
I was hoping I could just grab a piece of technology,
Yeah.
Just
man. Give me a second. But yeah. I just want to watch it because it's funny.
It's just a pretty good fight, though, too, because I feel like they do give Falcon a couple good, moments where he's not helpless. It's not like he's just, getting whooped on. But also, like, how would you adapt to fighting this?
Right? Yeah, like the little close-ups of the guns and everything like that. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Oh, and like there, he anticipated and caught him, right?
Mm-hmm. Like training versus actual mobility.
Yep, and there we go. Got
And
the
it's like dragging them along. um,
oh man,
but yeah, it's just a good fight. I love the zooming in effect that they use for his shrinking. And this is where we start to see what are called context shots that they really dive into in the end fight scene, where it has him being small, and then it has him it's zoomed in and it's all epic, and then it zooms out and it's kind of mundane, you know. You seem
this
like
is a
good guy.
nice little. I feel like this was when they did Civil War. This is your conscience. I feel like they had to have been inspired by this a little bit, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that it's something that they were planning on all the way through, because Civil War was filming while this was, right? They came out not
That's
too
right.
far apart. The end sequence of this leads directly into Civil War. Um,
I love this.
they were going to they were gonna have a cameo by Scarlett Johansson. She was gonna be the voice on the other end of his comm, but they couldn't make it work.
But he got it. You're gonna get all mad at me.
Completed
But
the
see,
mission.
look at that.
You
I
can
got
tell
it.
that they had to cut corners for budget by having like the door closed, and you didn't really see how the theft and the fight go and everything like that. You know?
Yeah, they could only do so much there.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, if they had him stay on the campus too much longer, then the idea that other Avengers not showing up would have been a more like, okay, so what's going on? Yeah, he was there short enough that the idea that just Falcon fighting him and not having enough time for somebody else to show up, or for you to start wondering about that, I think also worked.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
You did good.
And then you have this.
Yeah.
I love that they had this in here because Cross was just a little bit too absent.
Yeah,
They
they needed to
him
reintroduce
be-
the threat.
Yeah. But it also just creates some really good character stuff for both Cross and Pym. I think that it's just such a good and important scene to have. And it's, in my opinion, like the most memorable. But also like, so when the guy that he killed, right? At the beginning with the little
the
shrinky
bathroom.
gun. When he's talking to that guy beforehand, he does this thing where he like puts his hand on his shoulder, like reassuringly, and it's almost like this little active decision in his mind that he's going to kill this guy. And he does it to Michael Douglas here, right there.
Yeah.
And it's like this little, just very threatening gesture, and it always made him really creepy to me. And again, I like his performance. I like him as a villain. I think that they really biffed it with Quantumania. I think that bringing him back was a great idea, but bringing him back as MODOK was a terrible idea.
Oh, it was so bad. This is so bad.
Because like having him as like a one-armed slave scientist Kang who helped build MODOK would have been a really great idea. But making him MODOK was a really terrible idea.
Because this movie is trying to establish the fact that he is also he's a little crazy, but he's a very smart man. He was Hank's, protege.
Mm-hmm.
So, and other than showing him kind of there himself, moving the thing over the lambs to do the testing, they don't actually show him do really any smart sciencey stuff in this film. It's all talked about.
Yeah. That's one of those things that you kind of have to like, hand waving. But
Yeah.
it is annoying that we don't get it.
See, this is where okay, and I mean, I believe later on he says, "But I knew you were there, and that's why I didn't kill him."
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, he knows that she's lying to him.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's supposed to be a redirect or if it's just something you're supposed to believe.
Because
It's
he does tell her he's tripling security.
It's like a test or something, you know?
Yeah, but he actually does do all the things that he says right there, and makes it where okay, so is he testing her to see they can still make it in somehow, or kind of what's I don't know, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, but I also like that they're giving him moments of like doing things well and doing things right. I think that's important for his character.
This was a fun excuse to bring in the other guys too.
Yes.
Because the Hank Pym's reaction, like these guys, no, the three wombats.
Three wombats. Like, why would they call him a wombat? I don't know. It's funny. I'm glad that they call him a wombat.
Because we just rob you. Oh, stealing a smoothie machine.
We're professionals.
Great. We are professionals.
I like what they do with them in the sequel of giving them the ex-con thing.
I let you.
I let you. Yeah.
I let you let me. He's like, what? Oh gosh.
Yeah.
His smile is so good, and then just Michael Douglas, just we're all doomed. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Michael Douglas has such good old man energy is just the only way that I can put it. As much as I hate using some of those modern terms.
It's all right. It's gonna get weird. When your friend tells you it's gonna get weird.
Yeah. It's just, why does he refer to himself as daddy? Baba Yaga.
The work of gypsies.
The work of gypsies. Okay. Have you hung out with like people from Europe and mentioned gypsies at all?
Not outside of like film.
Okay. So if any European ever accuses you of being racist, ask them about gypsies.
Explain.
They are hated.
Yeah. I love the whole, they're all asleep. But Hank just started explaining the science of the suit to them. Everybody fell asleep. Oh, gosh. Yeah, no, I am familiar with the old history of, gypsies not exactly being loved in Europe.
And I feel bad because I gotta say my experiences with them were not great.
Okay, so here again, she's like kind of smiling with. I think this is supposed to be she flirting with him a tiny bit, gives him a look over the shoulder. I'm just saying that's the most this movie ever got to.
Ugh. Terrible.
I'm glad that they revisit his daughter one more time, so that when we get there during the action scene, it's not out of nowhere. As far as just obviously he's thinking about his daughter, but because this isn't a long film, but kind of like what you said with Darren Cross, they had gone long enough. They kind of needed to reintroduce him a little bit. I think again with Cassie, they need to kind of keep her. They need to go not too long without showing her, just to kind of keep it in the forefront of the audience's mind.
Yeah, the relevance.
Oh, you know it. And we got another story.
You need to wear a uniform. That's what's up.
Oh, just excited.
I'm fairly certain he has autism.
Oh, that's good. Just the idea that he wants a thing. Oh man,
Yeah.
The Andy Griffith Show. My kids had to ask me what that was.
Well, I mean, later he does whistle,
and he whistles Andy Griffith. No. Sorry.
Oh, does he?
No. He whistles. It's a Small World. That's right.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, he whistles Small World. This, the whole like heist sequence, I really enjoy it. I think that
Yeah, I agree.
it makes sense for the most part. Yeah, see, okay, so they're all carrying, Glock 17s. They're striker fired guns.
Yeah.
No
This
hammers.
no hammers.
All these ants
Because like
inside
it
that
would be
van.
so easy to do,
Yeah,
you know, a SIG, right?
yeah.
Um
There are many, 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 many
yeah.
choices. Give them old Berettas, whatever, just something.
Ugh. Berettas are so 90s.
They are.
Like a Beretta, Brian? Really?
It's still a great gun.
It is, but I don't know. I don't like the look, and I don't know. I've never been a big fan of Berettas. I thought that they looked wimpy.
All right, we will talk about this later. That's a good hit right there, by the way.
Little John McClane gun. I know. Yeah, no, they did really well filming that one. It was a solid hit.
I also
But yeah.
too like that they randomly have the anechoic chamber. Is that how you pronounce it? Like they have the foam triangles on all the walls. Because for some reason they're worried about sound in these rooms, or is it all supposed to be like EM stuff?
I don't know. I mean, if it's a pump, then it's gonna be loud, especially if you're in
Yeah.
a high. I almost said high visibility, high volume building.
I feel like he's at a water park right now.
Yeah, really good special effects here. I love the look. You feel like you're inside of a gross tunnel. Everything feels dirty and grody. They do really well getting the all the stenciling. Like that they're dragging a camera through some of these PVC pipes and other metal piping in order to be like, what would it look like from the inside? And they got the filter grating. Yeah.
I also love that the lighting was pretty good for like the ants had light pack. Some of the ants had light packs on them, so the light sources were pretty good.
Yeah.
The Antman is in the building.
In the building. Yeah, because they use the Crown Vic. Crown Vic's been almost entirely retired,
Oh yeah.
but it gives it like a 90s cop feel,
Okay, if there's a gate right
Fire
there,
to mayor.
if there's a gate like a security gate right there, I feel like regular just like beat cops would not have the authority just to like run onto the like there would be guards like stopping them.
Well, I think that's why it shows them running, though. They're like sneaking in while the guards are distracted.
Very serious.
I guess.
Oh gosh.
What?
Everything's freaking transparent.
Yeah, it'd make it really hard to heist.
Lady did good. Okay, so I do like this. This is fun. It's such a simple solution, but it would totally work. It's weird that like Hank immediately jumps to like trying to explain this to cops, though. I don't know, just
maybe
that line of like
crazy old man stuff.
maybe, but like he's not a suspect. He's
Well,
he impersonated
he is
a lawyer,
a suspect,
I guess.
though.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
impersonated
and
a lawyer.
broke the guy out of prison. Broke him out of jail. And Corey Stoll, he is kind of imposing. He looks good in a suit. I don't know. He's one of low key. He's like one of my favorite villains in the MCU because he's menacing. I want to see more on him, And later, he's so vicious.
I guess so.
I
don't know why.
It's me. I have an emotional connection.
No, and the thing is, I actually can't come up with any objective disagreement to you. He just, for some reason, on an emotional level, he doesn't hit me as much. But I mean, when I'm thinking about it and trying to be fair, I can't disagree with you. So you're probably right. You're totally fine.
Yeah, I am. But yeah, this whole thing of him like, I'm selling to Hydra. One, I don't know if the American government in the MCU would buy something like this, like the Yellow Jacket, you know? So I think that it makes sense that they would try and sell it to Hydra.
I feel like at this, okay, so I mean, we haven't, because the Civil War is when we kind of start to bring in the idea that the CIA is starting to get more involved in things, because Shield is, kind of out of it, right?
Yeah.
And so we haven't kind of made that pivot to the other government organization that would be starting to get involved.
Yeah.
But in a world where Iron Man exists, and the Defense Department obviously is interested and has, the Iron Patriot and then War Machine again, and that kind of stuff. I feel like if somebody was like, "Hey, here's," I mean, they desperately wanted more tech. That's been established in several films. That if somebody says, "Hey,
Yeah.
I've got a different take on a suit that also has shrinking technology," I feel like the Defense Department would be pretty interested.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It is weird. It is one of those inconsistencies.
Yeah, it's fine though. Stupid mistake.
He knows. Oh, the poor ants.
Aw.
They of course make it so that it wouldn't hurt the ants, but in reality, they would just be French toast.
Yeah, they really would. I do like
want French
his
toast right
connection to Auntie. He's a
Anthony.
flying ant. Yes.
Like Anthony, but he's Antony.
Aw.
When this was first coming out, my former brother-in-law, he was like 12 years old, and his name was Anthony. Is Anthony. He's not dead that I know of. But he loved this movie just because of Anthony.
So the other thing that I was always a little bit hazy on. Okay, so he expects this, right? He's like ready for this. He knows that she's been lying, but was he completely unprepared for the level of their attack? Because he's like later on, there's the whole, oh my gosh, you like imploded my building. But they just fried like all the servers in this building. There's no alarms going off. He's not like aware, or like there's nobody coming in to be like, oh hey, oh my gosh, this just happened, and he's wondering what's going on. At this point, is he just really all of his focus is on Hank and he can't think of anything else that they would have been trying, that he was solely focused on just the suit, the Yellow Jacket suit, and all of this other stuff happening is just completely happening without anybody else noticing? I don't know. It always felt like it felt like there was a scene or two missing here.
I don't think that Darren has knowledge of the ant connection. And I think that he's under the impression that they're just going after the suit. Which, they are here, right? They are just going after the suit.
And yeah, so he got that right. And like I said, when they're up in the helicopter and they do the kind of building implosion thing, like, it is played like it was never just about a heist, or whatever. And then, his reaction to that. But I always thought it was interesting that all the servers got fried and there was no, like I said, there was no alarm or anything. There was no like, oh my gosh, like what just happened to our building?
Yeah. Well, the server thing is odd.
They look just like us. Oh gosh. Ow.
I was gonna say something, but I got kind of caught up because I love this sequence. It's an old trope, but it's effective. The last minute button hit.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is a great scene.
This is good.
He's got his big head.
Oh yeah.
Well, I know some people are like, oh, it's foreshadowing that he was always going to be MODOK. I'm like, nah, that was freaking made up.
They had no idea. It was a good shot. Also, just the imagery of him being kind of on a string was also just, I think, a really powerful image.
Yeah. But depending on which servers went down, they might not have an alarm to go off. I mean, they should. Um, but if it's just like storage, like data storage, it might not immediately register. Especially since, maybe they know a little bit about computers and they're able to kind of disable that. But I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
This is a good bit of acting here, though, as far as just how over the top he is, and just got that the big eyes and the big movements, and he's got a big mouth. It's just
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding.
bounced around.
Yeah. I love the sound effects. Like I said, the context shots of is a little thing in there, is a little guy, and how it'll be so epic up close, and then from far away, it's just tiny little stuff happening.
I mean, when we get later on to, some of the fights, up in the helicopter, the things in the briefcase, the lifesavers and the cell phone, and then later when we get to Thomas the Tank Engine and all that stuff, it is using things like that, and just the perspective, when he's in the carpet, but it's the jungle, and there's just so many creative ways where something that just seems and is so benign and so non-threatening all of a sudden is scary when you scale it up. It's just fun. It's very, very creative, very interesting.
Did you read about the whole Thomas the Tank Engine thing?
Not specifically, no.
They only gave Thomas the Tank Engine was only allowed to be in it if it followed certain rules. Like, for example, Thomas had to be neutral. He couldn't do anything specifically evil.
I could see that.
And nobody was allowed to be shown tied to the railroad tracks.
I can see that too.
That was specified.
Well, his whole history as a property, I could see why they would be protective of that as a children's, as a very beloved children's property.
And this is a weird phrase, but have you ever looked into Thomas the Tank Engine lore?
No, I can't say that I have.
It's very dark. It is genuinely a very dark little property. It's this post-apocalyptic world, and if the trains don't behave, they get torn to pieces and turned into generators and stuff, or bricked up while still alive.
Okay, here we go. No hammer. Very clearly on the back of that Glock. I mean, they literally show the back of it.
Yeah. And that's yeah. And okay, actually, I want to find out what IMFDB has to say about this.
Oh, it is. They have a whole article about it, because that is a Glock 17 or a Glock 19. It's one of the two. I think it's a 17. This guy. Ah.
But yeah, they're just able to get out. Were they not zip tied or something like that?
Yeah, well, I think part of it is not a lot of. The overlap of time is a little bit less obvious here. I love that he's so just because man, those big ants biting you, that would suck.
Oh yeah, they hurt. I have freaking it's a Glock 19. Suddenly shown to have an external hammer somehow. Crazy.
Yeah, it is definitely to me one of the most modern, just over the top faux pas, of all modern gun scenes.
This here is the this is essentially the scene that was the test footage that was created, that was shown at Comic-Con, that was done almost entirely by Edgar Wright. This is what he did.
Yeah. Well,
and you can go find it on YouTube still.
Yeah. This is really cool. Just again, at his scale, this model getting blown up is just pretty epic looking.
So cool. But especially that scene of him on the the gun, just as it goes off, and him running across it and getting on the guy's shoulder and then punching him across the face.
Yeah. And Luis, he's got some moves there. He took out those two guards. Granted, he caught him by surprise, But he had a move or two there.
Yeah.
Okay,
Do you
coming up
realize
here,
that these guys are
Go
dead?
ahead.
Like,
yeah, they're just laying there unconscious. But then of course he stops and gets this guy.
yeah. Like, I like that though. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, no, I'm genuinely happy that they showed them to because he just had a speech about, are we the good guys? Like, yeah, we are. It feels interesting. I'm not gonna die. Yep. Now the physics of this tank coming out the side of the building and then landing just fine is whatever.
A little precarious, but mostly like with the rules established, he shouldn't have been able to just be carrying it around that easily. I love the giant keychain on the end, though. That's my favorite
there too.
thing.
Yeah, and there's the tank.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's such 2010s humor, though.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a tank. You know,
this always bugged me when they're going to the helicopter and he starts shooting at the ants flying towards me here in a second. The fact that he actually hit Auntie. Like with a bullet, it's just
Antony.
Sorry,
Antony. No, it's ridiculous, but I don't hate it because this movie's already ridiculous. Is that a Beretta?
Yes, it is.
But it also it killed his beloved pet. How dare you? That's a
the wing, the one wing.
Yeah, the drama, like it's it's not serious, and it's not supposed to be serious, and that's kind of what's great. I just love how this movie basks in its non-seriousness.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Wait, get out of the van! Oh man,
it's loud. There's a tank. I can't hear you.
A tank.
Yeah. But like,
are you crazy?
And he's just shooting his own guys. Like, he kills all of his own guys. And then you can never stop the future with a heist, and that's what they end up doing in Endgame.
Yep.
Like, that one line is huge. I love implosions. I love implosions. I think that they are so cool when done right in movies and TV. I love implosions. I just think it's so cool.
Well, it reminds me of the gravity grenades we saw in
Thor: Dark World.
Thor: Dark World, yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, implosions are just really cool.
These look cool, yeah. They look cool. It's the idea that there's kind of no mess afterwards. Oh, now it's
And they
bad.
have once again established that you can get into these suits in 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, with no room to change either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but yeah, okay. So you're in the helicopter with the yellow jacket suit, and then he uses his lasers and kills the pilot, just like in the thing.
The demonstration.
Right? So yeah. And
while miniaturized
so
too, while miniaturized, his lasers will still go right through a human being. I love the lifesavers in here.
Right, this whole thing, and just the music. This is the greatest needle drop.
I'm gonna disintegrate you. Oh god.